Hello and welcome to a brand new show called Get Outside St. Tammany, and I'm your host, Davis Brister. This show is dedicated to all things outdoors in St. Tammany Parish, and we are very excited today to have a very special guest to talk a little bit about hunting, and particularly turkey hunting. And joining me today is Mr. Crump, Special Agent from the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. So if you'd like to introduce yourself to start, and we'll get right into some turkeys here in just a minute.
My name is Joel Crump. I'm a senior agent from Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Been doing it for 13 years, so know a little bit about the topics we're going to cover today.
And we're talking turkeys to start.
That's correct.
And I believe here in this area, this is Area B, right? If you explain what Area B is, someone who doesn't know much about hunting.
The state is divided into three different areas, Area A, B, and C. St. Tammany Parish is all encompassed by Area B. It's just different biological data that our state biologists have gathered. They have separated the state into three areas to, maybe this area doesn't need as many turkeys taken as, say, Area A or Area C would. So that's how it's divided.
Got it. And we're not quite to season yet, at least as of this taping.
No, that's correct. Our season won't start here till March 26th. And
so you mentioned some of the regulation. What's the season in Area B looking like?
From what I've gathered and the few people that I've talked to about it, the numbers look pretty good. So I think there's a great opportunity for everyone that does turkey hunt as far as numbers go. So I think we're going to be in pretty good shape.
How difficult is it for someone like me? I don't have my license. I need to go get one. I need to go get a permit. What do I need to do? How long does that approximately take?
The license process is very short. I mean, we have lots of vendors. Walmart's a vendor, Academy's a vendor. You just have to have, your identification with you. And if you're going to get resident licenses, you have to be, what the state considers a bona fide resident, which you have to live in the state continuously for 6 months. If you have a driver's license, it has to be a Louisiana driver's license. If you own a vehicle, it has to be registered in Louisiana, and so on and so forth, to be considered a bona fide resident. And then you would just purchase your license over the counter.
If I've got a friend that wants to come hunting with me and they're from Mississippi, where I grew up, or wherever, what's that process, if any?
It's pretty much the same process. I mean, his license is going to be a little more expensive because he's a non-resident, and he would just present his ID just like a resident would, and he would buy a non-resident license over the counter.
Talk about a little bit about the WMA and what some of the procedures and requirements are through them.
Each WMA has their own special season, so I would encourage you to look up whatever WMA that you want to, plan on hunting, check season dates, and some of them you're required to check in. There's a little kiosk at the entrance, and you have to check in, your name, phone number, things of that nature, what you're hunting, and you have to check out whenever you leave. So make sure that WMA that you're on, you follow their requirements as far as checking in and checking out. And there's also anybody that's from the ages of 18 to 59, there's a special license you have to purchase as well. It's called a WMA hunting permit. It's in addition to the licenses you would need to hunt turkeys.
I know there's some youth hunts that go on around the area. Can you talk a little bit about that? I know you mentioned that the 18 demographic, but do we go younger than that? For young, obviously you do. But
well, the youth hunts include persons 17 and younger. They have to be accompanied by an adult. They are encouraged to be accompanied by an adult. They're not required to be if they've completed a hunter ed course, but it's encouraged, obvious safety reasons. But they get the weekend before the big season opens, so they get the prime day.
Why, is that rigged, or no? I'm joking.
Well, I'd like to think it is rigged. Give the kids a chance before give them
that might be the experience of a lifetime. They may
Absolutely.
not get that any other time. Is anything else that's prohibited in a turkey hunt in general?
Well, there is some prohibitions as far as baiting is concerned. You're not allowed to bait turkeys, with whether it be bird seed, corn, whatever. If an area is deemed to be baited and you're outside of 200 yards from it, you're not considered to be hunting over the bait. But if you're within 200 yards of the baited area, then you would be considered hunting over it. There's also some prohibitions for, shooting hen turkeys. You're only allowed 2 gobblers per season. You have to maintain that turkey's sex identification till you get it home, and for obvious reasons. So if you're stopped or get checked, we know that it's a gobbler without question. So outside of that, there's really nothing. I mean, can't shoot them with rifles. You can shoot them with shotguns. No shot larger than #2 lead or BB steel. So,
what are some of the penalties and fines for those who
most things associated with turkeys are not too cheap. They're pretty expensive birds if you were to have to pay restitution for one taken illegally. The fines associated with baiting are quite substantial as well. The state holds very dear their turkeys, so we take serious to violations.
Let's go back to that hypothetical brand new hunter. I have no hunting clothes. What do I need? What's legal? What's not legal? What are the suggestions there?
Well, you're not required to wear any high visibility like hunter's orange or anything like that. But you are encouraged not to wear anything red or blue or anything like that, because a gobbler's head at different times is red or blue. You don't want to be mistaken for a turkey. Obviously, you want to make sure what you're shooting when you shoot. But you need good camouflage because turkeys have very, very keen eyesight.
What are some of you describe a turkey? I know that's sort of an odd question, but what do turkeys know about hunters, if anything, other than they have good eyesight? I know they don't know about hunters, but what else should you be wary of about a turkey in general?
Well, not everywhere in the parish has turkeys. You need to know where they're at. I mean, if you just go traipsing in the woods, I mean, chances are you're not going to come across ones. You need to do your homework, learn what parts of the parish they're in. And most turkey hunters roost the bird the evening before, see where he flies up, and then they get within range of him the following morning. And when he flies down, they try to do the deal.
What's the best route to go? I mean, but St. Tammany is such a, to me, it seems like a large area.
Very large.
I don't know how the scope of that in terms of turkey hunting goes, but how do I research where to go, or should I be talking to people? Should I go online? Should I do all of the above?
Well,
what's the best?
Normally, anybody that wears one of these uniforms like me has got a pretty good knowledge of where the turkeys are in your parish. I mean, we have several different contact numbers. You can call and speak to an agent. You can speak to our biologist out of the Hammond office or the New Orleans office. They have a pretty good knowledge of where the birds are, and talk to other hunters. They might not tell you where the tree he's sleeping in, but they'll give you a general area.
Got it. You've gotten into a little bit of some of the limitations, some of the rules. You may have touched on bagging limits. I don't recall. So if not, describe bagging limits and maybe some of the other like tagging requirements and other procedures that go into that.
It's a common thing we run across. Tagging system is relatively new, probably in the last 5 years. But what's different that a lot of people don't know is any person, regardless of age or whether they are, don't need a license or whether they have to have a license, you have to have turkey tags. And you get 2 gobbler tags, and they don't cost you any money. When you buy your turkey license, you get them, or if you produce your lifetime license, they'll give them to you. And you have to have those tags in possession while you're hunting. And immediately upon the kill, you have to tag that turkey before you move it. And we run across that a fair amount where people, whether they take their 10-year-old son hunting and didn't know they needed tags, or it's quite a situation to get caught up in. So just want people to be aware of the tagging regulations. And like I say, they don't cost you any money. But no other really special regulations that apply just to turkeys other than licenses, tags, and the baiting and shotgun requirements. So,
what do you do if you lose a tag? How do you replace that?
You can contact our department, go to a vendor. You can purchase replacement tags. If you happen to find your tags that were lost, you have to discard them. So instead of you having 2 tags, you'll now have 4. So you can see the dilemma that would create. So we encourage people to, tell people to throw them away if you happen to find them.
Yeah, in just a minute we're going to get a little bit into hunter education, but anything else related to turkey season or to your department that folks need to know before they go out on their first hunt?
Well, just like I said once before, be careful what you shoot. I mean, you're not allowed to kill hens. Some hens have beards, so know what you're shooting. I mean, you can tell the difference between a bearded hen and a gobbler. Their head color is different. They're going to have spurs on their legs. I mean, you're going to be able to tell if you really study that bird before you pull the trigger. So other than that, I think we've covered it pretty well.
It did. Well, we'll get a little bit more into hunter education in general in our next segment, so we look forward to talking about that.